What is going on, peeps?
Back behind the wall. Jet dryers continue to work. They have told the teams that at 12:15 they will uncover the cars, make adjustments to get the drivers back in.
Hopefully we got racing today.
And at 12:30 to get underway.
Well, they said 12:30. I thought they said this one started at 12 o'clock Eastern. Now it's 12:30. Yeah. Oh well. So hopefully we can get the racing today. What's up, Aquavision? But hopefully, yeah, hopefully we can get to racing today. So NASCAR is going to try to get this thing. They're going to try to get this thing started and finished. So. Yeah, they're definitely going to try. Yeah. So we'll see if they can get this thing done, even started. With my luck, they probably won't.
Around with the 42 car, Josh Berry. Good hard racing. Now Christopher Bell underneath Bowman. He loses it. He's got big damage. A lot of contact.
Yeah, hopefully, we can get this thing started today.
Slide job dives down into turn 3. Up the racetrack. He's going to get a little loose here. Contact with Blaney. Blaney didn't appreciate that. A whole lap later, those two back side by side. Blaney showing the 7 that he's not happy about it. Him and LaJoy are going to talk about it when we had the rain delay, the stoppage yesterday. Had a long conversation about it. So here on the left side of the screen, several notable drivers that we thought had shots at winning this race now out. It was a really, really eventful handful of laps yesterday. And that was uncharacteristic to Michigan. Usually we see pit strategy, fuel mileage, but we've seen hard racing and a lot of accidents. Tyler Reddick, fast race car, fought himself to the front. He's our current leader.
And Steve, let's talk a little bit about strategy as far as what
the cars are covered.
Before laps are complete.
Well, so this is what the race looked like when we started, right? Because this is going to be continuation. We don't start over. The accidents that have happened, the current fuel load, the current tire situation for all these cars still exists. So,
but man, I thought this race was going to start at noon Eastern. Now they're saying 12:30 Eastern.
Which is basically 46 laps away, and then we still have that long 80-lap final stage that will require a pit stop.
So it must not be
a big conversation.
Track must not be ready.
Really, as soon as we go back to green, because overnight the teams had to store their cars and park their cars in the garage area, and they were able to do a few things to them, but you were not allowed to add fuel or change the tires, right? So it's kind of a small list of adjustments. Basically, you can warm up
they're still drying the track.
Basically, service all the driver items: the radio, the helmet, air conditioning, drink bottle. You know, nothing that's an advantage. Interesting, they did let the teams torque the wheels, break them loose, and tighten them. I think with the aluminum wheels, what
Hello, Detroit fan, huh?
they're tightened with
I'm hoping they get this race started.
Actually get crazy tight where the guns don't want to pull them off, so they are allowed to kind of
hopefully
the wheels. You can set some tire pressures, but down there at the bottom in yellow,
but
that's a big change, right? You can't, not a change, but that's a big.
The drivers, they're not even in the cars.
No fuel added, no tires changed. So once we put the drivers in, pit road will open and we'll see who does what.
Yeah, that would potentially change any strategy that the drivers had. That's why no fuel, no tires. And again, under red flag conditions, teams aren't normally able to even touch the cars. So that was a little bit different because of the situation we're in.
And if I had known this race wasn't going to start till 12:30, I wouldn't have came on right now.
He hasn't climbed in the car yet because he's standing by with Kim Kuhn.
That's right, Rick. And it makes a good car and good strategy. Put them at the point. You will start P1 when we go green.
Rutgers have the top class. How that won't last. There's no way.
Between that, the difference in wind direction, I think, too. It does feel a little gusty at times, so certainly I think that's going to hurt the balance of everyone's race cars. But, yeah, make use of it, and hopefully, things go our way. We don't have any untimely cautions that kind of put us in a tough spot. But car seems to drive really good when it's up front, so really hoping to keep the Rocket League Toyota Camry TRD there.
Yesterday felt very chaotic. Drivers seemed very aggressive early with weather still in the area.
Yeah, we got till 23 minutes till
today, and will it be even worse?
I think so.
To flag drops. I wish I'd known that.
Yeah, you just
I rushed. I had
really
to doing stuff outside, and I said, "Oh, this race is about to start." You know, at the top of the hour.
the driver on the outside
So I
blade,
rushed inside, and now it's not even going to run until
and that's what definitely happened to some drivers yesterday.
12:30 Eastern.
Getting ahead and looking towards Indy
Should have
Road
known
Course,
that.
knowing how
What's up,
good
Kyle? How you doing?
Are you very much still thinking about
Just thought this
today
race
in
was
Michigan?
I wouldn't
starting
say,
at noon,
you know,
top of the hour, but
we
no, it's
definitely
going to be like
to plan ahead
12:30
and be
Eastern.
ready for the races coming up. You know, we've been praying for this one or Indy. You know, we're working weeks in advance to,
So this
to be ready
kinda
for those
stinks.
races. So I wouldn't say
They got to sit
really
around here for at least a half hour. I mean,
anything, right?
the
Like,
cars are still
we
covered.
get home eventually, we're
Drivers
gonna
aren't in
get
the
to work
car.
on, some more Indy prep. But we're in a good spot, you know, if in case
Until the drivers get in the cars, I'm not going to get excited.
pretty close to where we want to be on our setup and everything. We've made a good amount of laps, and we're going to make a whole lot more between now and Sunday.
That is Tyler Reddick, P1, currently on the board.
Kim, the good news, as you can see from your interview, and where Austin Dillon and I are hanging out back here in the garage area, no rain right now here in Michigan, so we hope to get going here very soon, as Rick mentioned, 12:30.
No rain. Well,
Mr.
don't jinx
Anderson, so you
anything,
see
Mr.
right now,
Announcer.
Austin, much cooler conditions today. It's also a little windier. We saw how
Don't jinx
edgy the cars
anything.
were yesterday. Is that going to make it even tougher today?
I don't know. I mean, when the tires sit
Yeah, if they had
over
lights, it probably would have been over last
a little
night.
bit of a miss that
But,
we're dealing with. A lot of factors, but you know, our Dow Chevy was pretty good
Making
yesterday.
sure my flags are
our car's a little tight right now.
right.
Want to get to the end of this stage, put 4 on it hopefully, and you know, just keep progressing to the front. But overall, we've done a good job to keep our track position. And you're right, it is edgy. A lot of guys on edge. We had a couple big moments yesterday, and hopefully stay away from those and get a good solid finish.
Yeah, you and I were just
Yes,
talking
no
about
rain
it.
forecast down in
It's also
Louisiana.
cutthroat
Jeez,
racing around
it's been hot.
us.
I got to water my yard.
This much of a battle for literally inches on the racetrack, Austin?
Well, it's really entertaining
So-
for the fans right now. It's pretty cool.
I'll be back in a minute.
Watching
I'm
some
gonna go
of the
check something real quick. I got time.
She's just
I'm gonna go move my sprinkler in the backyard. Be right back. And drivers are finally getting in the cars here. Man. Man, the driver is going to finally get to their cars here. Jeez. Yeah.
We started seeing it at Bristol when the top groove was the dominant groove. The only way to pass somebody was to pull that slide job, but now it's become common for everybody to do it. But when it doesn't work, you're going to have impact, you're going to have contact. And then yesterday it was compounded by the fact that to go fast here, Steve, you got to have a car that's trimmed out a little bit, doesn't make a ton of downforce, so you can get down these straightaways. And now you're already on edge. Joey Logano told me his car is loose. It's on edge. And so when you lose a little bit of grip, you lose a lot of it. And so almost every incident we saw yesterday was a guy on the inside losing grip, losing control of his car because he was already loose and he just got a little bit looser and then lost grip.
Everything is risk versus reward. How fast you want to get down the straightaways? I can make the car go faster, but it's not going to feel as good in the corner. And if you want to be super comfortable in the corner, you're not going to get down the straightaways. The real question is, what's your goal here today, right? So if you take a look at the points, if you're a driver that has won a race, then you're looking to still fill that playoff bucket, right? But this is currently as the drivers run, as they sit on pit road. Kevin Harvick feeling good about points. Brad Keselowski trying to guarantee himself in on points or win like his teammate Chris Buescher. But how about the move around the cut line, right? Ty Gibbs continues to gain. And Alex Bowman in 18. Keep an eye on the 48 car. So much has been talked about the 9, Rick. I think the 48 could be the Hendrick car that could be the spoiler and go to victory lane.
And right below Alex Bowman on this list is A.J. Allmendinger, just 16 points out of that top 16, and he's standing by with Kim.
And we'll talk playoff picture with AJ in a second. Let's talk about the car first, because yesterday you said it was handling good, but it was slow. So how do you take what the car is giving you and make the most out of your day today?
Yeah, I mean, we got max downforce in the thing, so it's, I think we all kind of thought it'd be a little bit warmer, and that's, for where our car was, that's probably what we need to be a little bit more competitive, but, I mean, the racing's tough out here. It's tough to pass. Restarts, as we've seen yesterday, you got to try to make it all up on the restarts, and it's about track position, but the Nutrien Ag Farm Smart Chevy it's okay. It's nice to drive. If we get some clean air, I think we got decent speed, but it's just tough. You get checked up, and they get massive runs, but it's part of this racing right now.
When is the due date? You got a baby coming along. Where are we expecting Tara to bring us a little Allmendinger this week?
Yeah, I mean, technically the due date's today.
Hey!
So doctors are saying maybe a little bit later. So we'll see. And, you know, it's the good thing is we got plenty of support at home. Her sister's there; she's a nurse. We got the midwife, the doula. So there's plenty of support if I'm still here racing. But I want to be home. I miss my wife and my family. But this is part of the job, right? So we'll go focus on trying to get the best finish possible. And if I get home and I have a new son,
we got 12 minutes left.
And if not,
before
I'll be waiting.
Race
Let's
time.
talk about the playoff picture. Minus 16 points. Is that more stressful than just needing an all-out win? Kind of what's the outlook being within a shot every single race that we run leading up to Darlington?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I think it's more talked about from your guys' side of it. You know, for us, it's just about trying to run better each weekend. You know, I keep saying if we're meant to make it on speed and the sense of points and stuff like that, we're going to do it. And if not, then we don't. So, you know, a race like today, it's about trying to be smart. You know, you have to be aggressive, but we've seen guys that are aggressive, it's easy to step out at the speeds we're running. So just try to get the best finish possible every week. And if we make the playoffs, great. And if not, it is what it is.
All right, guys, so we're on playoff watch for A.J. Allmendinger. We're on baby watch for A.J. Allmendinger. And, oh, by the way, we had the Indy Road Course in Watkins Glen, where he should be very strong in the coming weeks.
Yeah, you see the running order on the left side of your screen. Drivers, there's Denny Hamlin. He looked pretty good yesterday. He is headed towards his car. Bubba's down there by his car waiting to climb in. Again, we are seeing some already getting in there. They've told us that they're looking for command at 12:30, which is about 10 minutes from now, just over 10:45. As far as countdown until we get that command for them to fire engines. So Michael McDowell, he's right there as far as fighting for one of those playoff positions. As they're running, he's currently below that cutoff line. Ty Gibbs is above the cutoff line. Austin Cindric found out that he enjoys playing Wii when he's not behind the wheel of a race car. That was a big topic from NASCAR and the drivers yesterday. So he's about to climb back into his car as well.
I'm interested to see who used the overnight to their benefit. You know, we saw Kevin Harvick a minute ago strapping in. This has been a very non-Kevin Harvick style weekend at Michigan. This is a guy that has so much success here. But they've just not been fast. The 4-car all weekend long has been very mediocre, shocking to really anyone who is trying to handicap this race. The Fords look like they've been getting a little bit better over the last few weeks. So I expected Harvick to be one of the guys to, come here and really compete. It hasn't been that way, but while they haven't been able to work on the cars, you can't keep the crew chiefs and the drivers from talking about a plan. So what has Kevin Harvick and Rodney Childers come up with? Do they think they know what they need now to find or unlock some of this potential in the 4-car? Will we see someone like the 4 pit here? There's Rodney Childers, right? Will he call his driver down pit road and make big adjustments? They're currently 23rd. So rarely do you get an 18-hour break to kind of work on your car.
Marty, are the 99 team and Daniel Suarez ready to get this race started?
Oh, yeah, Daniel's ready. We're kind of hanging out here. He's getting ready to go climb in the car here in just a second. So sitting in 13th right now, how was the first half of this race for you?
It was actually pretty good. We started the race a little bit too tight. We made an adjustment, and actually I was pretty happy with the car after the first adjustment. And right now we're only battling track position, just like 80% of the field. But overall, I'm very happy with the 99 Worldwide Express Chevy Camaro. Hopefully we can pass a few cars in the restart and then get into the top 10 and then just get them one by one, because I feel like our car is pretty quick. Once we got the balance right, I feel like it's pretty quick. So let's see what we got here. It should be fun.
So, Daniel, there have been some of your competitors around the cut line who have had problems already, and Chase Elliott's gone. He's back home in Georgia already. You've got Michael McDowell, who's had a splitter damage. When you're racing against those guys, does it change the game at all for you and what you're doing, knowing, hey, this needs to be a point save for us because this could be a big opportunity?
Well, it does and it doesn't. And it does because obviously you're looking at them kind of like, on the side a little bit. But at the end of the day, I have mentioned this before, and I'm going to mention it again. I can only control one car, and that's the 99 team. And I have to make sure that I maximize the points and the result for a 99 team, and everything else has to take care of by itself. I have to race hard to everyone, not just to that group of guys. And I believe that if we do that for the next 3 weeks, 4 weeks, we're going to be pretty good.
A couple road courses coming up too. That'll certainly help as well. So you talk about the aggressiveness and the battle for track position. Are you surprised?
Yeah, the drivers that crashed yesterday, they're home.
It is on the racetrack.
I'm not surprised because track position is so important. You can take one of the best cars in the field and put that car in 25th, and it's going to take that car half of the race to make it to the front. So track position is extremely important. So we have to get it one way or another, either research or being aggressive or an strategy, two tires, no tires, who knows, but track position is huge, and we have seen that the entire weekend. But we see what we got here. I have a good feeling for today.
There you go, Daniel Suarez with an opportunity to gain some points today over the person you're hanging out with right now, Kim.
That's right, Marty. Michael McDowell, and hit a little trouble yesterday, some damage to the nose of the race car. You guys were able to get it fixed up. How differently was it driving, and what's the outlook today, and what this track condition is going to do to that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously coming down pit road a few times, lost a lot of track position. Hopefully we got it fixed up better. You know, when it first happened, it had a lot of drag, but I think we've got it a little bit better. You know, long day. We saw a lot of mistakes yesterday, so just got to put ourselves back in position. Be there at the end when it counts and score some points. I mean, it's not ideal, not what we wanted, especially early on, but a whole nother day racing, so we'll see what happens.
Being close to that cut line and kind of bouncing back and forth and having some of the other guys around there have trouble too, what kind of information do you want crew chief Travis Peterson feeding you, or do you want any in terms of that?
No, I mean, I just look at the points at the end of the race. I don't need to worry too much about it. I mean, every lap you're trying to get as much as you can and get the best finish you can.
Like
so,
5.
It's going to be what it's going to be, where those guys run.
6, well, a little under 6 minutes to go before.
And be ready for the next 3 weeks.
Maybe
do you
racing.
feel like you have to be more aggressive the second half of this race, or you kind of have to back it down knowing the car is already a little bit damaged?
Well, it's definitely going to be hard to push, right? So that part kind of takes away maybe some of the restart aggression that you can have, but we still got to gain spots. We can't leave here today 27, so we need to get up in the top 15. Going to have to be aggressive to do that.
We'll see if Michael McDowell and this team can march their way forward.
Saw a little bit of damage there on the 34. We know that the 20 of Christopher Bell is damaged. 5 minutes away from command. The drivers will be climbing in.
All right, 5 minutes till command. All right. Yeah, all right. Be right back. racing yet. Not yet. Not yet. Not racing yet.
To pit road to maybe top off fuel, but there's others that think they might be able to stretch it and get all the way to lap 100, which could be another pit window for them.
Spotters, inspectors, have your drivers crank up their engines.
Crank up the engines.
Now NASCAR let them know that they should fire the engines
All
up.
right, fire the engines up.
And that is a sweet sound for the fans that have come back here on a Monday. A smattering. It was nearly full grandstands on the front stretch yesterday, and they actually waded through the rain, but because Mother Nature ended that race, or ended the attempts of restarting the race yesterday about 5:30, we're seeing a lot of diehard fans that have come back to watch hopefully the conclusion of this race.
Yeah, this has been a frustrating time for the competitors, but I think your heart has to ache for the fans, as you mentioned. People spend their hard-earned money to come here to Michigan, and the drivers put on an impressive 75 laps, but they can't control the weather, and now they're back to finish the race. A few campers have stayed. I'd say, it's still 50% full in the infield. It was unbelievable. Really, we've seen this. Pocono here, the crowds have been unbelievable.
And fans, NASCAR and the premier partners want to thank you. Visit NASCAR.com/thankyou-fans to learn how you can win an exclusive diamond experience just for being a fan. And NASCAR has been one of the best fan favorite sports and fan involved sports. Again, we've seen fans right down there on pit road before the engines fire up. Right there included in so many of the things that take place with the drivers and teams.
So Rick, you mentioned it from a strategy.
Man, just waiting for the green, for them to get on the track. Man, it won't be long now. Shouldn't be long. Jeez. It's now it's 12:32 Eastern. I thought they said 12:30 Eastern would be they'd be on the track. Man. So this waiting game. Man. Waiting game.
Some don't. Some are like, no, we're going to save fuel until that pace car rolls, and we have to roll. We're not even going to fire the engine up.
Yeah, even if you are coming to pit road, 9 seconds to change tires, 13 seconds to fill it up with fuel if you're completely empty. So there's a lot of different layers to these strategy calls. We're going to have to, and it's what's your priority. We keep talking about the playoffs because it's here, but what do you need to do, right? If you look at Corey LaJoie right there in the 7th, they have to think the only chance for the playoffs is a win. The 22 of Joey Logano, right? Well, he's already won. So he's just trying to fill a different bucket, saying,
still cloudy over there
for a win. It's different.
In Brooklyn,
Ricky
Michigan.
Jr., he kicked it off with the Daytona 500 win. Interesting point. That car would be in the playoffs on points. I think the Daytona 500, I don't want to say it overshadowed a great year because it should be celebrated as the Daytona 500. But think about that. That car has run well enough this year that it would be in on points alone.
And Kim, we've talked a little bit about Alex Bowman and how he has creeped closer to that cut line.
Yeah, they have a huge opportunity, but yesterday we saw Alex Bowman's frustration with teammate Kyle Larson after Larson gave a huge restart push to Tyler Reddick, who was beside Bowman. Now, Alex showed his displeasure both on the racetrack and in an interview during our rain delay coverage. So I checked in with this team this morning to see how they were feeling. They said, yes,
we're moving out.
Frustration, anger, even some disappointment, but it was also very situational. They said it's a clean slate today. They have a huge opportunity in front of them. They don't want to waste it. With their number of strong teams out of the race and the very good car they think they have, they think they can maximize their points today, Marty, or even win this thing.
All right.
Kim,
we're on the track.
Cars roll right here, and a big decision moment coming up for a lot of teams, including Ty Gibbs and his race team. They have a very quick car, but there's a lot of factors that go into what you do when pit road is open once they come back around turns 3 and 4. We heard everybody, as Jeff mentioned, talk about track position, going to be so critical, but there's also points to consider, so expect some teams to come pit right here and take the fuel to make sure they can make it to the end of stage 2. Those who do not will be a little bit short. They're banking on a caution, but hey, if you're racing for points, you need to play it down the middle. Expect Chris Gale and Ty Gibbs to be one of those teams to come down pit road.
The thing that I would be concerned about as a driver is if I don't pit, what do these tires, what do they do? You ran green flag laps on them, not a lot, but you ran green flag laps on them, and then they sat. They got hot, and then they sat overnight. And that is not a situation that we normally get ourselves in. And we talked about the commitment it's going to take on this restart. Do you trust these tires? Do you trust these one-day-old scuffed tires to hold the car the way you need it to when you enter the corner?
I'd be selling the old format, Jeff, where, hey, remember we used to do some qualifying practice on Friday? We'd run those scuffs on Saturday. These are just like that. They should be fine.
The field is so far spread out. NASCAR has said, okay, we're not opening pit road this first time by because it wouldn't be fair for some of the cars as far as where they are.
Rick, we talked a lot about the crowd. I got a little information from our friends here at Michigan Speedway. This was the biggest crowd yesterday since 2015.
Yeah.
So biggest crowd in the last 9 years. I think that's what's disappointed us because of the rain. You see, there are fans back in the stands, and we're so thankful they're here. But it's not just Michigan. Pocono was packed, Nashville packed, the Chicago street course with perhaps the worst weather Chicago has seen in quite some time. Still had a great crowd.
Steve, little things in a race like this. You know, a lot of teams thought you might be coming down pit road the first time by. We heard Marty say you might need to save a little fuel. This is a lap.
Absolutely.
This is one lap. You just got saved under caution. You're burning caution fuel, and that's way less fuel than you burn under green. So little small things make a big difference at the end of the day.
I'm sorry, Junior, go ahead.
Christopher Bell here on pit road, who was involved in that accident yesterday. They're still working on this race car, and we've watched a team. They've had a whole evening now to prepare on how they're going to fix this race car, what they want to do. What are they doing down there, Marty?
Yeah, so what teams will do is they'll take pictures of it, right, Steve? And they'll go, okay, here's our plan, because as Rick mentioned earlier, under red flag, you cannot work on the race car. So they did it. We're able to take pictures of it, but they were not able to really plan out anything beyond that or touch the race car. So they had a plan coming in here. Now, suspension-wise, chassis-wise, car is fine, but as you can see, that body completely destroyed. So Bell, who is one of the contenders for the win, who spun out, as we showed you earlier yesterday, now they're going to work on some of that body damage to hopefully fix that up.
And, rules don't allow them to add new body panels. That's what you used to see a decade ago. It's funny, right? You want to know where aerodynamics are made? Look where they're working. They're not working too hard on the outside of the body. They're underneath that diffuser, right? So that's where they think the aerodynamics need to be improved. Now it's decision time. Who turns left, who stays out? 19 of Truex stays on the racetrack. I think that's a great call. One of the best cars yesterday. Really a split decision. We'll call it 50-50, maybe even less coming to pit road. Kim.
And you see Tyler Reddick making his way onto pit road. He stopped. Their plan was to top off there. Also, Alex Bowman here. They want to make sure they get to the end of the stage to grab those stage points. They think it is still a factor to get into this playoffs, and they have an opportunity, Marty.
As predicted, here comes Ty Gibbs down pit road. So they elect to go with fuel only to kind of help them out a little bit here. Austin Dillon also, he went on with 4 fresh Goodyear tires because they had not taken on tires in a while. They had 40-some laps on their tires. They did fuel only on their last stop. And you see Michael McDowell's team on pit road as well. We've talked about the damage on the front of the car. We heard from Michael earlier. He said he thinks he can manage it. His whole hope today is to leave plus on the points line. We'll see if they can gain some spots here, but you see that damage they fixed up yesterday on the front end, trying to make some more repairs here this afternoon.
So I called Travis Peterson to have this discussion because we looked through every bit of tape and we couldn't find this moment that damaged the front of this car. He's the one that alluded to, man, I think it was the first lap where that push down the backstretch. So how about this? There's 34 cars out there racing as normal. Dale, you mentioned it, and you said it as accurately as I think you can say it. This right here is normal racing. This is not egregious in any point. 34 comes up and just gives the 14 a shove, as he should, to get him down the backstretch. They think nothing of it. Nearly 20 laps later, McDowell says, this thing won't run down the straightaway. Every manufacturer takes high-definition photos high-resolution photos. Travis told me under the photos, only at speed, the nose had been pushed back a little bit. When it comes to pit road, it pops back out. The other thing is the gap between the splitter and the nose at speed would open up, creating a tremendous amount of drag. So that tape you see there is really to just try to seal the air. They want the air to go under the car like it should, in the radiator like it should, or over the outside. You don't want it to dump under the hood with new holes and pieces, but really a bizarre situation to the 34.
And so the field now working their way another lap here. They have not made the choose yet as far as which lane they will restart with, so they'll go around at least one more time before we see the green.
And to your point, Jeff, Truex is loving this. There's one more lap of yellow. That 19 is going to be saving gas. He has 5 laps of green flag on those tires and 8 laps of caution, Kim, so it's going to have to run, you know, over 50 laps to get to the end of the stage. But with these yellows, I hope they feel good about it because they're still on the racetrack.
Yeah, they feel great, and they really wanted clean air. That car, yes, was good in track. He was able to pick people off yesterday, but absolutely out front, he was the dominant car, led 32 laps, so this was a track position play on that team, and they think they made the right decision, Marty.
Boy, Kim, it's been a rough go for Ross Chastain since the win at Nashville. 5 straight finishes outside of 13th or worse, so not very good until this weekend. Phil Surgeon told me we have the speed. We can get a solid finish here today. And we talked about all these extra caution laps. Phil Surgeon just told Ross Chastain, with these extra caution laps, we are good to the stage. We're right on our number, but we should be good to the end of stage 2.
And Marty, Ross Chastain yesterday, I would say the correct word to describe his racing was darty. Like, he would make aggressive moves. And Steve, you mentioned it. They were making moves more like a short track or an intermediate track than at a high-speed track like Michigan. But he was moving from the outside lane all the way to the inside line aggressively.
Oh, for sure, aggressive. I need a little cleanup on Truex. I mentioned about 5 laps on his tires. He really has about 16. Well, he was on pit road.
The lights are off on the pace car, which means next time around
that they will restart in.
It'll be green.
See right there. Eric Jones could have picked the bottom, start up right beside Truex, but he chose not to. The top has been the preferred lane, especially in the front of the pack. And mid-pack, it's chaos back there. It's just whatever lane gets going. But in the front couple rows, the guy on the bottom kind of gets bogged down. He can't get good momentum going. So Eric Jones actually giving a lane up to go behind the leader.
So when they take the green, Rick, there'll be 40 laps to go in stage 2. People that did not choose to come to pit road, you're here on board with Bubba Wallace.
Yep, shut it off.
Saving gas, engine shut off. So fuel obviously still very close. We'll watch that.
And we'll watch on the restart here, the pushes. And so Truex will have that 43 of Eric Jones behind him. Austin Cindric will have the 23 of Bubba Wallace behind him. Again, as Kim mentioned yesterday, a little frustrated was Alex Bowman. He had the inside line and watched Kyle Larson push
What's up, Steve?
Reddick right by him.
I think the lights are back on the pace car.
Lights back on the pace car,
I
yeah.
thought I might have saw a drop or something on
Bubba Wallace's onboard camera.
Yeah, the lights are back on the pace car.
There are some sprinkles
So,
in turn 1. So
we're still in
safety,
yellow.
They don't want to go out there and have an issue where the track is slick at all, so they'll check again.
Just waiting for this race to start, man.
Now they're giving them 1 to go.
All right, so maybe 1 to go this time.
Pace car. 2x2.
They said that last lap, but then the lights came back on the pace car.
A lot of people ask me all the time, how do you stay hydrated? What do you do to keep fluids in you during the race? You see that on the right side door bar, that bag that's moving back and forth. That's actually holds fluid in there. Bubba Wallace can reach down there, grab that hose, and it's got a bite valve on it. And that's how you replenish your fluids throughout the day.
Yeah, a lot of times we'd take that hose and run it through the back of the seat and tape it to the shoulder harness, where it'd be laying right there on your chest the whole race. But this looks like a much better situation that's out of his way. Not going to get tangled up in anything going on.
Well, look at the duct tape on the 20 car.
Those things. Sometimes you can mess a lot of stuff up if you have everything going on there. But the 20 car is still trying to work on the body damage, and you can see it's important that they get that rear spoiler all the air it can. And you can see some of the damage on the right side. On the
20 cars got a whole bunch of duct tape
right
on
in front of that spoiler. So they're trying to give him the best opportunity they can to be as comfortable as possible. He's not going to be fast, not going to go out there and win this race.
Starting to get him again here. Must be on this end of the track.
Now the lights are on the.
And drivers are saying a little more precipitation. So the
More
lights come
rain.
back on the pace car as they work through 3 and 4 now.
So, Junior, you mentioned it on that 20. Another thing I noticed as he was leaving pit road is on the diffuser, there's a flap. When the roof flap's open, it pulls a cable, it drops a flap on the diffuser. By looking at the back of this car, it's obvious there's heavy damage. And it looked like that was still kind of flapping in the wind. That's a little bit of a, not a concern. I mean, there's only so much they can do with it. I mean, the car is wrecked, but that is really going to hurt the efficiency of that diffuser and take away a lot of downforce and add a lot of drag.
If we remember all the way back to Saturday when practice and qualifying took place, Christopher Bell had the fastest car, and really the fastest car that we have seen since 2020. The fastest qualifying lap that had been turned in 3 years. Over 193 miles per hour on the average around this track, and they continue to work on that car.
And to Steve's point, you see that thing right there, Steve. It's not closed. It's still open as if the car is spun around backwards, and they tried to fasten it, keep it closed. You see some tape there hanging off the bottom of it, but the damage must be so severe that's not shutting properly. I don't know how NASCAR will feel about that, but they're still trying to work on getting this thing as good as they can. Yeah, they.
Man.
If those cars were to turn around backwards, that is a safety issue to try to keep the cars on the ground, so you can't tape it up so that it doesn't function the way it was designed.
So one thing that's happened here, Steve, the 45 car, all those guys that just pitted, they pitted because they were afraid they didn't have enough fuel. Then you got all these cautions. So as it turned out, they came down pit road and probably got no advantage for it because the addition of these caution laps.
Yeah, a very small advantage. Definitely not what they were hoping for.
We're going to try it again. Over 19 hours of red flag.
Uh-oh, I think we're going to green.
The green flag here in Michigan. 81 laps are complete of a 200-lap race. 119 still to go. 38 will be remaining in stage 2.
Here we go.
Green flag is back in the air. Top 2, door to door as they come out of 2.
Even with 2 off to the 23. Still hanging at your door.
Bubba Wallace to the inside here, 3 wide down the back straight.
Wallace took the lead.
A huge run for Bubba Wallace, and he takes the lead at Michigan. Brad Keselowski in the 6 trying the same move on the bottom of the racetrack.
Here comes Mark Truex Jr. back on the outside. Big run down the front straightaway on that outside line. Brad Keselowski trying to hold him up as much as possible.
Denny Hamlin in the 11 also running that lower line. Eric Jones has fallen back to 5th or 6th now.
Here comes Eric Jones. Going to drive to the
Man,
inside
so Bubba
here.
Wallace takes the lead in that restart.
Keselowski blocking him all the way down to that white line, but Jones makes the pass on both of them.
And Brad's still stuck on the inside of the 2 car here. Wiggled by the 17 car Busher back there as he loses a spot.
You can see as soon as they clear, they try to jump in that outside line. Nobody wants to get blocked on the bottom. Denny Hamlin now in that green car. He's on the bottom. He's got to find a way to get back to the top.
Oh, man, Brad in the 2. Really close right there.
Good grip for Denny Hamlin. He was able to stay right on the bottom and gain a little bit of ground on Keselowski, but now not the same momentum as the cars that were on his outside as he falls back just a bit. Suarez there holding his spot.
Brad had to get out of the gas big time right there with Suarez on his outside.
What's Hamlin going to do? Is he going to jump on the outside? There he goes. He's going to fill that hole. Did not want Harrison Burton to get on the outside of him.
Bubba Wallace now under attack from the 19 of Martin Truex Jr.
I think it's safe to say for the first 86 laps of the race, there'd be no argument that 19 of Truex has the fastest car. Now, can they do all the right things on pit road and from behind the wheel to execute for the final 115 laps of this race?
And a lot of the cars that didn't come to pit road, they're shooting for around lap 100, right, Steve?
They're going to run all the way to the end of this stage. The cars that didn't come to pit road are going to try to finish this stage. They're going to run the next 35 laps. They're probably 1 or 2 laps short, so it's going to be all about part throttle when you can. The 19, though, is not worried about saving fuel. It looks to me like he's looking for the lead.
Closes the gap all the way to the bumper and then falls back. You see 4 car lengths separating the top 2. As Bowman trying to get by, he's going to get a little shove from his teammate now as Larson pushes him, tries to get him by Ryan Preece in that 41. The 4 of Harvick in the picture, running in the 19th spot.
Bowman's going to have to get right back behind his 41 car as he fails to pass him on the front straightaway. Here comes the 5 to the inside. He's able to clear Bowman down into turn 1. He'll slide up in front of him. Actually, he does at the 48. Comes on the outside. He's going to take that spot back, Marty.
As you watch the battle further back, also the battle for the lead. To answer your question, Rick, yes, there were enough caution laps for those that did not pit there when they went back green or before they went back green. They can make it all the way to the end of stage 2. Unless you're out front like Bubba Wallace, that is a 2-lap penalty for leading out front. You burn so much more fuel, Steve, when you're out front leading the race than you do further back in the pack. So leading is great, but it's also a penalty for your fuel.
Yeah, I mean, basically, you're pushing the air. I mean, the 19 would like to have clean air in the corners, but right here down the straightaway, the 19, it's like following a tractor-trailer down the interstate. The 23's breaking the air. He's
still
kind
out
of
in
just
front.
towing along with him.
All about Truex, Jones, Hendrick, Suarez.
See Eric Jones closing in on this lead battle in that 43
And
car.
they got
They're having
Keselowski,
an incredible
Buscher,
run today.
Burton, Hamlin, Allmendinger. That's your top 10.
8th in this race.
Running right
The
now.
last time we were here in Michigan.
We got what? We're in
His
lap
last
number
time
90 of 200.
finish.
So only we got, let's see, how many
Was
laps
it
left on stage?
Darlington?
30.
Win. That's pretty incredible. It's been a long time since this 43 car's had anything to be excited about. They've shown some good speed today.
You see on the left side of your screen the progressive telemetry of Martin Truex Jr.
We're almost halfway.
Saw 200 miles an hour as he entered turn 1. What will we see here into turn 3? 195, 196.
The other thing is, watch his throttle. He's actually a little bit of part throttle at the end of the back stretch. We'll watch down the front stretch. Obviously wide open here, but will he kind of roll out a little early to save some gas? It looked like he did on the back straightaway. Yeah, there you go. 3/4 throttle right there. 197 down to half throttle. So he could close up on the back bumper of the 23 and try to pass. But what he's going to do is take the last third of the straightaway, back off the throttle, stop burning gas, let the toe, the draft, just pull him up to that 197 mark. There you go. Much less than wide open throttle.
Yeah.
See if he can complete
Draft him.
the 30 laps to go in this stage.
43-year-old race car driver in a 19 car. Still very fast, can win races. And he also does it with his brain. And that's a great example right there. Understanding the situation he's in, sitting there in second place, trying to save a little fuel, keep himself in position. His eye is on the big prize here. It's winning the race. It's not leading this particular lap. So now we'll look at the telemetry on Bubba Wallace.
Before the stage 2 ends, but
He too not full throttle down
under
the
30
straightaway.
laps left. Still Dovercast
really
at the
interesting.
track. Hope
So
that the
if
rain
he can do that,
stays
in the
away.
We are probably about 1 short, so just manage it when you can.
So there's the good information, but he can do this because you know what? He's watching that 19 car. His crew's watching what the 19's doing. They know he is also saving. They know that he's going to sit there and ride as long as Bubba runs a reasonable speed in front of him. So with that information, Steve, that they
I
now
think they
have
said Bubba Wallace is a lap short
they
from
can tell
finishing the
their driver with
stage.
confidence. Hey, save a little bit. The guy behind you is running 3/4 throttle, half throttle.
Yeah, they just build a math equation in the computer. They look at time at wide open throttle, time at certain percentages. They know how much fuel they're burning. I think this is fascinating because you think these guys are out here just driving as absolute hard as they can, but they are so much more calculated than that, right? They are totally in control of not just the speed of their car, but also managing tires and fuel burn. It's amazing what these guys can do at 199 miles an hour.
Bubba led a career high 80 laps last week at Richmond and continues to add to his laps led this season. And they're already conserving fuel, or at least trying to get to the end of stage 2, which is 27 laps away.
Oh, commercial break. Alright, so turn the volume off a little bit while we got a commercial break. Oh, we are doing non-stop. So they are actually going to show the race while they have commercials on, which is good. I like that. Means you don't miss nothing. Yeah, Bubba Wild's still out in front. Followed by Truex and Jones, Suarez, Cindric, Keselowski, Hamlin, Buescher, Burton, and Allmendinger. That's your top 10 running right now. As we are at number 95 of 200, so we're almost halfway. So I know if the rain does come, at least this. I mean, I don't want to see this race ending anytime soon, but you know, if it does rain, at least it'll be an official race. But yeah, so let's see if Bubba Wallace has enough gas to get around to the end of the stage. I think that was his pit crew that I was talking earlier about. They might be a lap short, but he is out in front, so you know he's got to go pretty much full throttle to stay in front. So that's going to hurt his gas mileage. But it looks like Truex is going to try to pass him. He's right on his bumper. And Truex is right on Wallace's bumper. Looks like he's going to try to get around him eventually. We'll see. Hey, we'll see. NASCAR's 75th anniversary. NASCAR non-stop. All right.
The official app of
I think we're back. I think we're getting back. I think we're getting back to racing from commercial break.
You're watching NASCAR Cup Series racing presented by Golden Corral. As the laps wind down in stage 2, just 22 still remaining. And out front is Bubba Wallace. We're seeing a little bit of movement there out of Denny Hamlin, Brad Keselowski. They're running 5th and 6th currently. There's the gap between Bubba and the 19 of Martin Truex Jr. And it's been interesting because Martin Truex Jr. has gotten right up to the bumper of that 23 of Bubba Wallace, but he hasn't passed him. And we saw earlier with the telemetry how they were running 3/4 throttle, even half throttle.
Doing what you've been doing for about 10 more will be good. About 10 more will be good.
There you go. The information from the pit box. It says, hey, we need 10 more laps of that. We're going to be good on fuel. Let's remember, with Bubba Wallace leading, that puts him into the playoffs. But even if he can't win the race, a top 10, even better, a first or a second in this stage is a huge points accumulation. That's 9 or 10 points for a driver that is trying to build a gap before he has to go to the road courses over the next 2 weeks.
Hearing on the radio, the 11 was told that he's good on fuel, so we'll see if he'll take advantage of that as Truex going for the lead now, goes to the bottom, and he'll be out front.
Guess who heard that Hamlin was good on fuel? That was the 19 of Truex. Hamlin's 5 positions back, and he knows, it's kind of this cat and mouse game. Whose turns the wick up first, right? Well, Martin Truex Jr. has
out in front now.
He's now going to lead, and that blue car is going to get smaller out the front windshield of Bubba Wallace. Bubba talking about the balance of his car. A little bit free. A little issue for the 14 down in turn 1 and 2. Handful of laps ago, the 10 of
Almirola slides up in front of him, and this is the air. They see the car get loose almost before Eric gets right in front of him. The 14 just has a little bit of a bobble back in, stepping out.
14 got loose.
And now Briscoe, after that little bobble, is running in the 27th position. Past the halfway point, 101 laps complete.
You heard Marty say that leading was a 2-lap penalty. So now if you're Bubba Wallace, even though he was a little bit park throttle at the end of the straightaways, he's probably thinking, all right, now it's my turn. I need to save some fuel. Going to work behind this 19. Eric Jones, Suarez, and Hamlin also trying to save some gas. But last lap by, Denny Hamlin was the fastest car on the racetrack.
Dave Ellens calling the shots on the 43 for Eric Jones, Kim.
Yeah, and I talked to Dave on the hauler this morning and kind of asked what they were thinking about this race, and they said, we feel like we have a car that can win. Now,
caution,
it's Dave Ellens,
41.
So
yeah, caution's out.
It looks like we have a caution for the 41.
41.
Yeah,
Caution's out.
Two, looks like he might have got up into the wall, and you see a lot of damage on the back of that car. He was running 23rd.
I think he's all right. Damage-wise, I believe he just got a right
Ryan
tire.
Priest, I think he got into the wall.
Recognized that right away. Going off into turn 1. Slowed the car down. Didn't get into the fence at all.
Flat in the back, huh?
That's the second tire that we've seen today. The second right rear tire we've seen today fail. This was an issue with this car last year. I feel like a lot of the teams had understood what to do to avoid this.
Tire.
But now we've had 2 today.
I think he cut a tire.
Maybe getting close to that sort of, getting close on air pressure that may be dangerous, as far as trying to find speed in this car.
Steve, this is a lot better
41
with Chase Elliott yesterday.
Has to go and get some new tires.
Timing, awareness,
Caution's
got a little
out.
to the field, but great job, as Dale pointed out, that Ryan Priest did not to have more damage. Marty.
Yeah, you can see that right rear down for Ryan Priest, and they had debated on trying to stay out and not lose any extra time here, but then said, hey, the damage is just too much here. They didn't want to tear up that right rear panel there. So, Steve, what is going on? We saw Chase Elliott have an issue with the right rear yesterday. Why right rear issues for these race teams?
All right.
Well, I think there's a lot to discuss there about air pressure, but first let's cover who comes to pit road and who doesn't. Inside 100 to go. This is a major moment in the fuel window. One stop from here, or do you want to stay out for stage points? Kim.
And Martin Truex Jr.'s crew chief James Small is going with that plan. One stop from here. You see the crew go to the right side. Martin overall pretty happy with that race car. It will be 4 fresh tires, Sunoco fuel, Marty, as Denny Hamlin makes a stop.
And Kim, Steve nailed it. That's what the call is for also his teammate Denny Hamlin.
Two drivers want to go one stop.
Tires here.
Rest of the way.
There's going to be 2 tires here waiting on the fuel for Denny Hamlin. So yes, that makes it 1 more
Hamlin can't get his car started.
And Denny can't get the car going. Don't know if it's stalled.
It's car stalled.
It won't move any further. So
wow.
Denny Hamlin's
got problems.
Better cars here as a team watches helplessly as Denny sits on pit road.
You see it's not running with the flames coming out of the headers there.
So now he's trying to get this
Denny
thing
Hamlin's got
cranked up.
problems.
There's nothing the team could do. They could go get him and push him back into the stall. Probably switching through and resetting the ECU, the electronic, or the engine control unit. It's electronic. Well, there it is, fired off, with damage already done. 11 of Denny Hamlin came in running 5th. Everyone didn't come to pit road, but of the cars that did, he will be the last off.
Problem for Hamlin.
Back of the longest line there, really, because the last off and those that stayed out in front of him. So
Denny Hamlin had problems getting his car. Couldn't get his car fired up. That's going to cost him some track position. To be right back. We still come back. We're coming back. All right. Coming back. All right.
6 of Brad Keselowski, some radio communications.
Obviously, we can make it to the end of the stage. We'll have to take our lumps at the stage. I'm not sure that's a negative, but just making you aware right now. Yeah, cool.
So let's just take a look at the points, right? So Bubba Wallace is leading. So it's a little misleading because that's assuming he's going to win the race as well. But Allmendinger's now a point in. Suarez a point out. McDowell having that damage 4 below. I'm telling you, this guy, Alex Bowman, he's currently sitting at -20. He's riding 7th on the racetrack. These are the moments that this 48, we got to see something out of this 48, right? He has not had the year since returning from injury they're looking for. He needs to go capitalize and beat some of these cars. All the bubble cars are right here in front of him.
It'll be 13 to go once they take the green flag. Pace car makes its way back onto pit road. Field back in the hands of Bubba Wallace in the 23. He's back into the
There he
gas.
goes. Restart.
Going to get a shove from the 6 of Keselowski. Not enough help for Suarez on that inside line, but he dives in very
Suarez
deep.
going.
Got a car
Oh,
almost in the wall here.
the 3 car.
Austin Dillon.
Almost wonder if he had a tire going down or something.
They stay side by side. Suarez went really deep into turn 1 and
Got
now
the lead.
into turn 3, and he's going to clear the 23.
Suarez takes the lead.
Suarez leading in Michigan.
There's a good restart for Bowman. He must have heard you, Steve, telling him to get up there and get a few spots right there in 4th place.
I love it. I love the aggression, right? If you want to make the playoffs, you got to kind of take some points at sometimes, more than just earn them. And right now, he can earn them and take them away from the people he's trying to race.
Logano's going to get a shove here from Larson in the 5. Pushes him by the 16 of Allmendinger. There's Ross Chastain in the 1 on the bottom of the track, trying to make some moves in that star and stripe paint color. Take a look at what happened with Austin Dillon here on the restart.
He's in that outside lane, headed down into turn, and got loose, maybe thinking he's got a tire problem. He comes to pit road just as the field goes by. He's going to lose a lap. There he is, blending back into traffic, Marty.
Yeah, Junior, it was a right side tire that was down for Austin Dillon, so that's another one we can add to the list. He had that on the restart, caught it before it hit the wall, but they did come down and change the right side just a moment ago, as you mentioned, Junior.
We know the teams try to run as close as they can, air pressure-wise, to be able to find speed, but it also gets, puts that tire in a bad situation.
Keselowski takes second,
There's heavy
yes.
loads and a lot of corners.
Keselowski takes
and a lot of
second
corner
over
speed.
Wallace.
It's his cooler
Suarez,
tips, corner
Keselowski,
speeds,
and Wallace in
big
top 3
loads, long
running right now.
corners. Steve, that might be causing the problems today.
Yeah, there's some physical limits with the shock bottoming out that won't let the back of the car get as low as you want it. The lower the back of the car, actually more downforce you make with the diffuser. As you see Chris Buescher making a big move on the 47. Some tough racing back here with Ty Gibbs and the 12 of Blaney. So you actually just let a little air out of the tire squishes. And the car, even though mechanically can't get lower suspension-wise, it just squishes the tire. It gets that diffuser lower to the ground.
Got Suarez out in
Truex
front.
Jr. battling back here after coming to pit road on lap 104.
then Keselowski and
Now
Wallace.
he's already up to the 8th position in that number 19.
We got 9 to go to the second stage.
We would not expect him to be on pit road when the caution comes out for the end of stage 2. Those of you that are playing fantasy, remember you've got about 9 laps to change your garage driver out if that's an option.
Denny Hamlin trying to work his way back through the pack. It's going to go around the 43 of Eric Jones here. He's up about 11 or 12 spots since the start.
8 to go in the second stage.
Losing all of those positions on pit road. The 5 takes a spot away from Logano, moving into 5th position behind his teammate Bowman. Truex getting another spot there around the 16.
Hamlin, after the problems on pit road, he's trying to get past the 4 of Harvick. Harvick muscling by on the outside.
Well, and Hamlin has recovered well. He's up to 17th. So you mentioned that issue on pit
Hamlin
road.
had that problem on pit
That's
road.
what
He couldn't
makes
get his car
19 so
started.
good. Not only does it roll the middle of the corner, but then look at this, Junior. He can carry enough exit speed from the bottom to pull up in lane and start catching the 5 car in front of him.
He's the only one. that can just slice up through the field like that. Everybody else is a dogfight. Truex just turns underneath guys and is able to have the grip and just roll right by them. I don't see anybody else that has the ability to do what he can do.
No, that'd be a chat I'd have to have with my driver to be like, hey, man, look, that's not around a wedge or a shot click away. Whatever he has, we're going to have to go home and work on because that's not just car balance.
Big move by Buescher there in the 17 on the lower part of your screen. We saw him move out of the way behind Ross Chastain, take that spot. I don't think anybody thought that Truex could come to pit road on lap like 102 and potentially win this stage, but look at what he's doing, how fast he's moving through with now under 6 laps to go. And Truex 2.5 or a little over 2.5 seconds back. Won't be able to get up to the front, but still an impressive surge back to the front.
You mentioned Chastain, a car we thought would have a strong day today, and he's lost about 7 spots since the restart. He's got a couple cars here closing in on him. Take a few more spots away from this one car.
You see how aggressive they're getting. Saw Blaney pulled right up in front of Ty Gibbs. Ty had good momentum on him.
Aggressive.
He just said, the heck with you. I'm coming up here. I need this outside lane. You're going to lift or we're going to wreck. And that's what we talk about, driver etiquette. That's what's different today.
Party.
Well, it wasn't a very good Sunday for Kevin Harvick, but Monday's a little bit better. Said the car has improved. They're really struggling, though, on restarts as you ride on board with Kevin Harvick with the Hunt Brothers camera on board the 4 car. He said the restarts are so tough. He just loses so many spots, but eventually they start recovering. And we're also seeing Harvick, when he can, run that higher line using that grip that is up in the top of the racetrack. Harvick, how many times have we seen him improve as the race goes on, Jeff? Seems like almost every week they make the car better, and they're always around in stage 3.
Yeah, I never count them out. They're going to keep fighting and clawing. They just don't know the word quit. See Hamlin continue to trying to make that inside work. Now this group could be 3 wide off the corner. No, they actually, the 12 got really tight on corner exit there. Look at the run that Gibbs is getting because of that.
Ty Gibbs in the 54, tucked in behind the 12, but the 11 of Denny Hamlin going in front of Blaney. Listen into his radio.
All right. 15, we'll restart about 8. How you trying? I'm doing everything I can. I know. I'm telling you to mitigate risk. I'm okay where we're at.
Okay, so here you have it. That's a conversation between driver and crew chief. Denny Hamlin sees all these cars in front of him. He says, I have to pass them all. I have to get to the front. And Chris Gabehart is saying, no, you do not. Most of those guys are coming to pit road. I know you want to chase the 19 down, but forget about the 19 for a minute. As he drives to the inside of Bubba Wallace. If you look in front of the 11, you know, I have 3, maybe 5 cars that are going to stay out on fuel. So that's where he says mitigate risk. Let's not wreck this thing. Get to the end of the stage, line up in the front 4 rows, and we'll race the final stage.
Bubba Wallace has to be scratching his head saying, wait a second. He stopped on lap 100, and now he's already passing me for the 3rd spot?
Bubba Wallace and every other driver and crew chief in the field to see the lap times of that 19. How about Brad Keselowski? Saw his
19 car's fast.
The car that he owns of Chris Buescher go to victory lane a week ago. We know Brad wants to win.
Nascar should fold.
Daniel Suarez
Okay.
leading this stage. Remember, he came in 34 points behind that cut line out of the playoffs. Got 5 stage points in stage 1, and now looking to win this stage. This could
Final
be a
lap of
huge day
stage
for
number
Daniel.
2.
They got that 19 car Truex all over the back of them now.
Look at the 19. He came to pit road on lap 102, and now.
Man, the 19 car is
the
fast.
possibility exists he could win the stage.
Daniel needs to recognize that that 19 car is just faster. And how aggressive do you get right here? Don't overdrive this thing. Even if you get 8 stage points instead of 10, it's still a huge gain.
Here comes Truex high on the high side. Daniel's going to squeeze him. Truex to the inside down the front straightaway.
Tries to side draft him.
I think he got it.
He'll do it. Truex is going to win the stage.
Truex got the stage by not much at all, but he got it.
1 and 2.
Man,
That was pretty good racing.
My goodness.
Truex showed some balls on that.
Suarez.
And got it by
Keselowski, Wallace, Bowman,
not
the top
much.
5. Larson, Logano, Allmendinger, Cindric, and Buescher all gaining stage points. finishing in the top 10. He looked high. Suarez closed the door. He goes down low, side drafts, and just clears him at the line.
Jeez. All right, so stage 2 is finished, and Martin Truex Jr. won stage 2. Not by much, but was able to get the pass on Suarez right at the last second. 19 cars pretty fast. Other crews are going to need to make some adjustments because 19 is moving. So, all right, so we got one more stop left to go in this race. One more stop left, probably, unless there's cautions, but there probably will be cautions. So, seems like there always are cautions at the end of the race when teams are jockeying for positions and they get antsy. So, all right. So we'll see what the pit strategies are after this commercial break. We'll find out. Come on, let's get back. I want that one. They should have done something. Well, no, they shouldn't do side by side because it's the stage ended, so under caution. So there's really no reason to go side by side. So, but hopefully the rest of the way, every commercial break, they'll show the commercial, then they can show the racing at the same time. We don't miss anything. Yeah, so we'll see what kind of strategy some teams do here on this last stage of the race. Indianapolis road course next Sunday. All right, road course. Some people don't like road courses. I actually like the road courses. I think it shows who the better driver is. When you have to make a left and a right turn and downshift. Not in the gas the whole time.
Nascar Cup Series racing presented by Golden Corral. 2 stages complete, getting ready for the final stage and pit stops that some will be making here now that stage 2 is done. Strategy-wise, Steve, who's in the best shape?
Well, you know what makes a good strategy is a rocket ship of a race car. So I think Martin Truex Jr. is in the best shape on both sides of that. I think he has enough fuel to only stop one more time. He has the fastest race car. They may come down and just fill it up with fuel to make sure the next pit stop under green isn't slow with how much fuel they're going to have. And that's what you're seeing here. Some guys staying out because they have enough fuel. Some will come just take a quick splash. Others need a lot. Kim.
Let's follow Daniel Suarez's stop at the top first. He was reporting it was free, even in traffic. Felt like it did in practice. 4 tires, Sunoco fuel. You're right, Martin Truex Jr. electing to come down just to make sure their last fuel stop was going to be shorter. Just right side tires for that rocket ship of Martin Truex Jr., Marty.
And to that point, Brad Keselowski said that 19 is just unreal. That was all I had. He said, though we did get better the longer we ran. As crew chief Matt McCall said, listen, we're going to pay a big price here. We're going to have to wait a long time on fuel.
Some drivers taking 2 tires, some taking none.
And they have earned so many stage points today. That's going to be a massive benefit for the 6 car.
Again, Keselowski finishing in the top 5 there. Truex, you know, he swept the stages here in 2017, but he only finished 6th. He's looking to do quite a bit better today.
Oh, that's cool. Let's go to the commercial break. Why not? Another commercial break. Yeah. Get them all in, NBC. Get them all in. Be right back. BRB. All right, back. All right, so we got still a commercial break, so waiting for the green next green flag to drop after the stage ended. So let's see on how the race after all the pit stops that were made. Then after the restart, who's going to be out in front? Some drivers came in and didn't take any tires. They just took gasoline. So interesting strategy.
19-year-old Australian sensation Jet Lawrence.
Yeah, he started the year.
All right, just waiting to get this back underway here.
50s when we go to pro motocross in the outdoors, and he's going to basically go undefeated at the moment. 16-0,
Motocross,
so
August
to win that, and then
12th.
you heard, right, the super
Motocross.
the big championship at the end of the year. It's
Moto
going to
1
be,
and then Moto 2.
So much, but I'm going to tell you, and as a 19-year-old, you talk about stars. He's got the talent. He's got the swagger. It's going to be here. We got James Stewart and Ricky Carmichael on the call. I got to go to Nashville and hang out with those two. They knew way back when that this guy was going to be special. They know how to pick talent because, man, Jet Lawrence is impressive.
Yeah, two of the GOATs will be calling, and again, that all starts at 1 p.m. Eastern on Peacock, then on NBC at 3 p.m. Jeff, what about the points that they've earned this race so far?
Well, the big race so far, Bubba Wallace, he was in good shape, but not great shape in points, but has gained 16. Suarez was behind. He's gained 14. Gibbs, 8. I thought they gave up an opportunity. If that strategy did not work out as well at the end of stage 2, but still 8 points. Some guys gaining, some guys losing, Kim.
And with the different strategies, Chris Buescher, last week's winner, resumes the lead. They do have to stop one more time.
Buescher out in front, then Reddick, Delaney, Harvick, Burton,
Amarolia,
Gillian, McDowell, and Hill, and Truex Jr.
The race car, just like yesterday, told us he feels like he does not have to back down his commitment, can do what he wants with the car.
So those drivers came in and
focus has been on Martin Truex
fuel.
Jr., who clearly has the best car, but don't count out his teammate Denny Hamlin yet. Despite stalling the car on pit road, they are 12th coming to that choose, and they also are 3rd on the strategy that they're on with their teammate Martin Truex Jr. Denny said even after that stall, quote, "We have a rocket ship. I just have to manage it." The 11 looks almost as good as a 19, Rick. Not quite, though.
The 17 on the outside of Buescher, the 45 of Reddick on the inside.
Here we go, green.
The 12
flag
of Ryan Blaney
race
pushing Buescher, and the 21 of Harrison Burton pushing Reddick. And look at Harvick up here as well. And
damn, look at the 19 car. Already moving up on a restart.
Harvick's been able to make that top groove work. I've watched him back in traffic using some of that resin
There's a wreck.
Crash down the back straightaway. Looks
Caution's
like
out.
Alex
48
Bowman
spins out.
Big contact there. Alex Bowman slammed into the side of another car, too.
Caution's
So
out.
he may have had some contact from someone else, but Bowman goes around, and now 3 of the Hendrick cars have been
Caution
involved with
is
issues.
out.
Yeah, and Alex Bowman was trying to climb his way
I
back.
thought we'd
into
run.
this
I thought we'd
playoff
run at
conversation
least
with points.
20 laps or so before we get a caution. Not right off the restart.
See, the right rear tire is down for Bowman.
Something was happening. The 38 looked like he was backing up, and then all of a sudden,
38's got looks like a right rear tire flat. So there's the 38.
Let's see what happened.
It's gonna get squeezed into the wall right there.
By Michael McDowell, teammate.
And I believe
Man,
the 48 may have gotten contact from the left rear.
Yeah, maybe his teammate.
Maybe.
The 5, possibly. Take another look.
So top of the screen, 38's coming up off the corner. Oh, the 2 did not know they were 3 wide. Shoves McDowell into his teammate, and then Bowman gets contact from, I believe, the 14.
I agree. They were 3 wide with Larson on the inside, and the 14 didn't really have anywhere to go.
yellow flag. You're right, Steve.
Full run ahead.
A little rubbing.
That's just when you're 2 and 3 wide on these restarts. I mean, what are you going to do? I think you are right, though, Dale.
How's
I
the
think
weather where
it
you are
all
today?
starts with the 6 doesn't
I
realize he is.
got to water my own yard. God don't want to water my yard, so
He is 3 wide, and he gets.
I had to put the sprinkler on. My grass was like dying, man.
Yeah. So right here at the top of the screen, you see the white number 2. They're gonna split the
A thunderstorm.
34.
I wish it would rain here.
Now the 2 doesn't know.
It needs to rain. We've been dry, man.
The 38 there, or the 34 there. So he squeezes the 34 into his teammate across the nose. Bowman just trying to get out of the way, ends up getting turned.
I mean,
around,
we don't
loses
even get the
control.
summer showers in the area
Kyle
anymore.
Larson on pit road. Didn't have their radio on, was listening to the 48. We'll check in if this was.
You know, in the South, you get those summer showers that pop up in your area. I mean, I don't even see those popping up in my area.
3 wide and
It's just dry,
all
man.
of that.
Had no power yesterday, man.
Trouble, these guys are getting in trouble, squeezing each other in the
That's
fence.
no fun,
We've seen a lot of
especially,
aero
when it's
issues
hot.
As well, creating problems for cars and
Look
big
at the
runs
radar real
coming
quick.
from behind, and I think it's just going to
There's
continue
nothing.
this final stage.
Bowman's trying to figure out if he can get pulled back.
I mean, there's nothing. I mean, there's no rain anywhere. It's all up north. Up in North Mississippi, northern Alabama, central Arkansas. Yeah, it's all up north. Just nothing down here, man. Hot. We don't have a chance. We don't have a chance of rain till Sunday, where it says 30%. Yeah. So, wish it would rain. Went to the movies? Well, yeah, why not? Just go if your power's out. Gotta do something. Gotta go to the movies. I went and saw Sound of Freedom. Well, the wife and I we went and saw Sound of Freedom last week. I was actually pretty good. She suggested it, so I was like, all right, I didn't think I was gonna like it because she suggested it, but it's a good movie. Yeah, I was surprised that I liked the movie that she suggested. So, Oppenheimer. I heard about that. Heard about that movie. I don't know how long is it. Like, it's like what, 3 hours? Isn't it a long ass movie? I don't know if I can sit in a movie theater for 3 hours. I went and saw Interstellar when it came out. Man, I almost went crazy sitting in a movie theater that long. Yeah, I might wait till it comes out on Paramount Plus or whatever. If I can watch it at home. I don't know. NASCAR shop. Buy all your NASCAR gear. Can I buy a car? Can I buy can I buy a car like the NASCAR? How much money I gotta spend? I want the car. That's what I want. Alright, so alright, so caution is out and 48's getting towed in.
From the Brickyard, it's IndyCar and now.
Was wait till the first 2 hours was good. The last hour was not good. Yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't really like the movie Interstellar. I really didn't like it. I really got kind of bored. I know a lot of people like Interstellar, but I didn't. But that's just me.
On the street course at Chicago.
Yeah. So. The street course in Chicago. They had that race about a month ago, was it, in Chicago?
He's going to do next year, whether he's going to be involved in NASCAR, how
The
much
48
he'll be
getting
involved
towed
in NASCAR.
in.
He's coming to the Bojangles studio to be on Dale Jr. Download. I can't wait to see what he'll tell me.
Yeah, that'll be really interesting, and also how he runs at Indy. A lot of people thought he had a massive advantage on the street course, first street course for the NASCAR drivers. Now he's going to Indy, a place where our guys have run a lot, but he's going to be competitive. He is a great road racer. He is going to be competitive. See Alex Bowman right here, 4 flat tires. They had to pull him back to
kind of hard to drive when you got 4
box.
flats.
Steve, when you get 4 flat tires with these cars, they bottom out on the chassis, and the car will not roll.
Yeah, so they have to be assisted back. This has been a lot of conversation.
It's kind of hard to drive on 4 tires that are flat.
But now the 48 can finally get to work. Now they're on the damaged vehicle policy. They have 7 minutes, but it doesn't look like there's too much severe damage. They're going to look at the toe links. That's what the mechanics are doing right here. The body itself seems to be relatively well intact.
And Steve, I was watching the officials. The jackman was trying to put the jack under the car as they were getting ready to lower it from the tow truck, but the official said, no. You can't touch it until we disconnect from it because of that clock situation.
Well, because of clock and safety. They're not a big fan. They like the safety workers to do their job and the teams to do their job.
Seeing the first 3 choose the high line for the restart there.
Yeah, wait till the movie's out of Blockbuster. That's what I'll do.
Sitting third in line right now. You're going to line up 6th. Hey, he's a champion.
Yeah, that's what I'll do.
Winner here.
I'll go to
knows what he's
Blockbuster.
doing, but that's tempting to go ahead and line up on that inside
That used to
line
be
and
a. If you owned a Blockbuster, you owned a Blockbuster at one time, you made a good living.
Reddick, he's not going to quit trying. He's going to try to make it happen. Marty.
Well, when caution almost immediately came out, Kevin Harvick said,
in the 80s and the 90s, man, if you had a Blockbuster, and you made money.
The top work throughout runs, and restarts have been a struggle for
even
Kevin
in the
Harvick,
early
to
2000s,
every advantage he can get. The top 4 has worked
it was
better
still okay.
for Harvick today, so taking the top here, no doubt about it, in third, and decides to go all the way to the top.
But
Kevin.
then,
And Kyle Larson with his second visit down
once
pit
you're
road,
able
they've
to
already
download
finished,
stuff
the
on your
service
computer
that
and all that,
visit was unscheduled. They wanted to make sure that he didn't get
then,
any
those,
damage in that incident. They said it mechanically looks good.
Blockbuster
Physically,
really
it looks
was,
good. They did bring him back down to do one more
didn't
kind
need
of check.
anymore.
They put a little bit of tape on the left front fender. Also filled it up with fuel.
Fuel's going to be a conversation.
Well, turn your
Everybody needs a pit stop. Just trying to keep
turn
that
your
pit stop as short as
radio
possible.
down,
See the
your
14
volume
still
down.
getting repairs.
And there was a little bit of contact there with 48.
I'm deaf. I can't hear.
Sent him up into the wall.
Junior, you talked about.
Yeah, your radio. Turn your radio down.
Lane. So when we drop the green flag, just watch, not just the front rows, but watch back in the 4th, 5th, 6th rows, how chaotic it gets. When you get to
It's better now for you.
If you don't have forward momentum on the bottom, you need to try to find your way to the top, because these cars, they get so.
What's a radio?
They get bogged down on the
You don't drive a car?
Straight away, they just line up on you.
That little thing in your car.
Flying by you, but if you never make a chance the way Reddick is, then you never get in the front. So this is an opportunity for Reddick to try to do something. Harrison Burton behind him, teammate Cindric. We saw a lot of pushing the last restart, and I think that's only going to get more aggressive.
Yeah, I agree. The stage 3 restarts are always more intense in every single race that we have. And that's been uncharacteristic.
All right,
for
so it looks
Michigan
like,
all the way around.
the lights are off.
Crashing and guys
Lights are
losing
off. I mean,
control.
maybe we're going to green.
Usually this is a, long green flag strategy, fuel mileage type of race. It's been anything but that yesterday and today. We're running out of cars, though. Certainly the field's thinning out. And you have to wonder when this thing's going to settle in and be what we would come to expect at Michigan, Rick.
Yeah, 9 cautions already, Junior. 43 caution laps. Of course, a lot of that has been for weather that we saw yesterday. NASCAR fans, Fan Rewards is free to join. Earn points by watching racing. You can
Fan
trivia,
Rewards?
playing fantasy, buying
Hell's
race
that?
tickets, and more. You save those points, trade them in for free tickets or autographed merchandise or exclusive gear. Just visit NASCAR.com/fan rewards. And again, applaud the fans that have come back here on a Monday to watch the conclusion of this one, Marty.
Rick, maybe more damage for Chase Briscoe than we thought. It is knocked out of tow on the left front, and also the
Chase
left
Briscoe's
rear
in
toe
trouble.
leg is broken, Richard Boswell tells me, so they're going to have to make that repair. Briscoe already a lap down in 32nd.
Field coming back out of turn 4, 2x2. Again, Reddick is on the inside, but it's Chris Buescher on the outside leading the field through the restart zone.
Here we go. Green. Underway.
21 pushing.
Buescher out in front.
We see Ross Chastain jump out of line, making it 3 wide into turn 1.
So Reddick cleared. Now he's up in that outside line. Harrison Burton stuck on the bottom. Can he get behind Harvick? Does not feel like he can slide in there. That would have been an extremely aggressive
Who's
move.
falling back?
And look at what happens. The outside line just starts piling up on you. And one of them being Truex, and getting in front of him is going to be very difficult. Now he is just stuck on the bottom.
67 to go.
21 of Burton starting to fall back now.
Ooh,
We
man.
found an opening right there in front of the one of Ross Chastain, but Ross Chastain said, well, I'll go bite you on the inside.
Man.
Still the right move to make. If you don't make that move, the whole line's going to go by you. So, lined up in 5th, took an opportunity and went back to 10th.
And we'll see the Truex car on the inside. He has such a fast car that he has the guts to go to the bottom and see if it can work without losing positions. He's going to be able to try to clear the 2, not quite get it done. The big run coming from behind, what do they do? Denny's going to go down here and try to help him. No, Denny's going to go 3 wide.
And Truex was side drafting that 2 of Cindric, and that allowed the 11 of Denny Hamlin to move up to his inside. Now Martin Truex Jr. powering by on the outside.
Yeah, Martin's making Denny regret that decision down the front straightaway as he sends Denny back a few cars. Truex will regroup, try to battle back.
Buescher out in front. Reddick. Blaney. Harvick. Cindric. Truex. Amarolia. Chastain. Hamlin, and Burton are your top
Martin has
10.
an opportunity to make it. They're
Running
not
right now.
behind him. So even
64
if
to
it
go.
doesn't work out, there's plenty of room to Eric Almirola. They're going to get to him at the corner, but this is where Martin's fast. He just overdrives the corner and easily gets in front of the 2 of Cindric. That's something that no one else has. I have not seen anyone with the capabilities, and when you are Cindric, when you're watching this happen, you're like, guys, I can't do this. I have no way to compete against this. I can't defend it, nor can I attack it.
Speaking of attack, we'll see how aggressive the 11 is on Denny Hamlin as we see Harvick and him doing a little side drafting with Blaney. The 2 Fords at a dead heat at the start-finish line. As Harvick stays to the inside, tries to slide in behind the 12 of Blaney and hold a little bit of that momentum, but
Big run back here.
Yep, here comes Truex.
Yep. That hard racing between the 2 Fords kind of slowed them down off of 2. Easy pass for Truex to get the 4. Now look at Blaney drive down in front of that 19, take his air away. Truex has to go to the top to find clean air.
The ability to recover from that, though.
Man.
I mean, you would have thought Harvick would have been able to turn back underneath him and get alongside of him, but the ability to recover is really impressive. Look at that.
But that's what's new with this car. is the ability that the drivers have to see behind them and move in the corner, drive down in front of the car that's behind them.
62 to go.
Because they know how bad that dirty air is. Air coming underneath that splitter, in the center of the splitter and going back to the diffuser. When you shut that off for the car behind you, it's a great defense to be able to maintain that position.
For third, Martin Truex Jr. fighting with Blaney as on the top of the screen. We see the fight for the lead, and Reddick about 4 car lengths now behind the 17 of Buescher. We'll see how hard he throws it into turn 3.
How about Buescher? I mean, think about what they did at Richmond.
Buescher's out in
Really
front.
had the fastest
Reddick,
car the
Blaney,
whole race,
Truex
dominated
Jr.
that race.
He's your top 4 right
Now here
now.
he is leading again. Talk about RFK and the resurgence of Roush Racing. We're accustomed to seeing in the past Roush Racing dominate races. Went on a long slump, and now here they are back leading races and potentially contending for this championship.
Truex back to the bottom of the 12 here in the middle of 1 and 2. It's going to be side by side coming up off the corner.
Those two continue to fight for that 3rd spot.
Even down the back straightaway into 3. I think Truex easily drives into the corner. Takes the spot away. Now he's 3 seconds back, a little more than 3 seconds back to Reddick and Buescher out front. Let's see how quickly, if he can run them down.
Yeah, 19 car has been
Hunt
fast.
Brothers Pizza on board of Kevin Harvick as he runs currently in that 5th position and gaining on the 12 of Ryan Blaney.
You up there, 1 lane higher than you by 1. Just watch your top.
Let's go through the field, brought to you by eBay, and we'll start with Kim and Buescher.
Yeah, Chris Buescher, our most recent winner, and he talked about coming into this weekend, the confidence boost that he had because of that win, and that they just straight up raced everyone and beat the best at it. They felt like they had a great chance this weekend too for a great finish. He said Michigan is such a huge race for Ford and Jack and Brad, and that makes me proud of what we were able to do last weekend and excited for what we're able to do this weekend. He runs in front of Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick has shown speed all weekend long. Tyler told me this morning they believe they have the speed to win this race, but the thing is they do not need to be pushing so hard in areas where mistakes can happen, and that's what they've been doing wrong recently. They want to clean up their mistakes, get themselves playoff ready. And as we have a battle for the lead, you see Tyler Reddick right there trying to give it to Chris Buescher, and we'll see what he can do. Now let's go back to the 3rd position.
Reddick,
Martin Truex Jr.
still
What do we
behind
say
the leader.
about this car? We say it is a rocket ship. He has been absolutely quiet all race long on the radio. No complaints on that race car. And the goal today was to come in the points leader and leave the points leader. That's what James Small wanted to do. They have gotten stage points in both stage and looking for a great finish here this afternoon, Marty.
Ryan Blaney sitting in 4th, trying for a 2nd Michigan win. If he's going to do that, he's going to have to figure out how to beat the 19 car right in front of him. Blaney said he just doesn't have any turn down into the corner to get to the bottom of the track. And you see that right there, trying to run the middle for Blaney, but says everybody else is gaining time on him on the bottom of the track. Harvick was able to hold that spot there in 4th right now after the restart just a moment ago. Said the car handling much better here today, but still just a little bit too tight for
56 laps left.
3 straight top 10 finishes. Denny Hamlin also has had a good run of it lately. He has gained 28 points on the regular season championship, now sitting in 2nd after passing William Byron for that last week. Problem is, the guy he's chasing, his teammate Martin Truex Jr., who's in front of him on the track, Kim.
And Austin Cindric running in the 7th position. When I talked with him this morning, just to get an idea of what they felt like they had, they said they didn't think they were the best Penske car. They said that was Brian Blaney, but they said they slotted right there in 2nd in terms of the Penske group. But Austin said, give me a chance on restarts, and I think we have a shot at this race, just running a little bit tight for the Austin Cindric machine, Marty.
Earlier, Ross Chastain said the car is very loose, and not the good kind of loose, the bad kind of loose. So Phil Surgeon went to work on that last stop, said the car much better, kind of back to how it was earlier in the race. You see where he's run today. He's been quick. Can he get the track position? That's the biggest key for him. Eric Almirola having a nice run, had a nice top 10 last week after a penalty early in the race at Richmond. He too among that group that pitted at lap 104. They can make it on one stop just like everybody else. Way too tight for Eric Almirola right now, Kim.
When I talked to crew chief Brian Wilson on the Harrison Burton machine, What's your goal? What are you looking at for the rest of the regular season, the rest of the season in general? He said week after week, we come in and we look at our teammates, that being those of the Penske cars. If we can run kind of in the mix with them, we feel like we've had a good weekend, we feel like we've brought the right car, and we feel like we are putting Harrison in a position to learn. They are absolutely doing that here this afternoon. Harrison Burton running in the 10th position as he drops down now to 11th.
He gets by him for that spot, but Harrison Burton, a good run. Steve, as I look at the top two, they came on lap 104, which means they've got to come to pit road a little bit sooner than Martin Truex Jr. will have to.
So they have to come sooner, or they're going to need some more fuel. I actually
Hey,
think
what's
Buescher
up,
and Reddick
Kobe?
doing a great job
Football
of
season. Say Saints play Sunday.
Look like they're trying to pass
I know it's
each other,
preseason,
they're
but
each other down the straightaway. So back to Dale Jr.'s question about how
Saints
quick
play
the 19
Sunday.
will catch him. He's actually losing ground to these front two because the 19 has no one to draft off from. He's basically out here pushing his own air. So as the front two gap, they're going to have to come to pit road, I expect, with about 42 laps to go. They need full tanks of gas. That's going to take 13 seconds. Martin Truex Jr., he does not. He only needs about 9 seconds if he changes 4 tires. So they are trying to keep that gap over 5 seconds. We're going to see what green flag pit stops are. I expect 45 to 42 to go.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
So Buescher and Reddick trying to get away from the fastest car on the track, Martin Truex Jr. Buescher leading here in Michigan.
All right, I'll be right back. I'm going to turn my water off outside. Water's not enough. All right. Alrighty. So, we're still in commercial break. We're in lap number 153 of 200. So, alright. So, hopefully we get some green flag racing the rest of the way.
Make sure to join Steve Letarte on Wednesday for NBC Sports.
Hopefully we get no more cautions.
Drive, Pete Stoney, as well as the back man. And Steve, I'm sure you're going to have a lot to talk about what we're seeing here, as well as looking forward to Indianapolis.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to talk about the speed of that 19. We're going to see if he's able to win this race, or is it Buescher for the rebeat or the Reddick? A lot to talk about.
You're watching NASCAR Cup Series racing presented by Golden Corral, and it is still Buescher and Reddick out in front of Martin Truex Jr. by about 6 seconds. And there you see Daniel Suarez trying to get by Harrison Burton. Those two fighting for the 11th spot. But we know that Busher and Reddick will have to come to pit road in about 4 to 5 laps.
Yeah, so if you're Truex, you're going to let Busher and Reddick probably come to pit road first.
I think Toyota's slowly going to dominate NASCAR.
You're going to get to see at least a couple cards in their hand. You're going to see how long they're going to have to sit and wait on
Yodas,
to make sure you can make it to the end. What I don't know is exactly how much Truex needs, right? He has about 20 laps more fuel than these front two. So I know he doesn't have to wait on fuel. But does he have, you know, a short enough fill that he could take 2 tires, right? He's not going to take 2 tires if he still needs 9 seconds worth of gas. But if he needs 9 seconds worth of gas and only 9, he can change 4 tires. So that's a little bit gray, a little bit fuzzy, because we're not exactly sure where the 19 and the 11 are on fuel load. But that's really what this race is building up to be. 17 and 45 pit first, 19 and 11 then counter with their pit stops, and then whose car drives the best for the sprint to the finish.
Let's take a look at the Toyota
45 to go.
updates. And you see Tyler Reddick, 23-11 out there in second. Mark Truex Jr. is third. Hamlin fourth. Ty Gibbs in 12th. Bubba Wallace back a little bit just outside the top 15.
And at tracks like Darlington, in places where the lap time slows down, you know, we always talk about coming early and short pitting and getting fresh tires. Throw all that out the window. And these cars here at Michigan are running the same lap after lap after lap after lap. So I think that's why this 17 and 45, they don't want to come early, because being low on fuel, they actually have a little bit, you know, less total weight on board. So they have taken that 4.5 second gap, as you see on the left side of your screen, and stretched it out to 5.6 seconds over the 19.
We see on the lower left corner, it said pit window is open, and it looks like the 17 and 45 both coming.
17:45 coming in the pits on green flag
and
pit
so
stops.
They have shown their hand as to when they came to pit road.
And you see Chris Busher on the top. He said, I just got a little bit free in that clean air. They tripped up a little bit getting around the front of the car. 4 tires, Sunoco fuel. They are going to have to wait on fuel for both of these cars. You see Tyler Reddick on the bottom. That second can of Sunoco fuel going in, waiting, and down and away for both of those cars. Marty.
And yes, Kim, that's going to be the penalty for all these cars coming right now. They have to wait on fuel for so long. Kevin Harvick on pit road in that orange car you see right there. He said, as I run, as the 45 gets past the 17 on pit road, as you see them leaving pit road, as I run, I get tighter, Harvick said, and around me, I'm more sensitive when cars are around. I can do some things if I get some space. That's my biggest issue.
So the 45 passing the 17 is very impressive, assuming they all have enough gas. On pit road now is the 11 of Denny Hamlin. He's the first that needs less fuel. Let's see how long the pit stop is for the 11, Marty.
And this is interesting. Chris Gabehart making this call. He knows at a car deficit what he is with the 19. Can they beat them on pit road, though? The 11 has been one of the best on pit road for the last few weeks. Oh, and a problem for Tyler Reddick, who had just jumped the 17 on
45 is in the
another tire for Tyler
45 cut a tire.
rear there. Man, they have had so many issues
Wow.
on pit road, and he has a wheel coming off here, Kim.
And Marty, you called it perfectly. Right rear tire going down. Absolutely devastating.
Devastating. That's devastating for the 45.
There on the back of the car, having a little bit of trouble there. So big issues for Tyler Reddick.
Man, the 45 is screwed now.
And now having trouble getting the tire off.
So they did what they wanted to do, and they jumped in front of the 17. But now with this issue, as they look, obviously there's more damage than just a wheel. Okay, here's the big story right here. Now the 19.
Yeah, 45 is screwed. Man.
Right, you see Denny Hamlin serviced his car, but
Hey, what's with the tire? I know the tires have been a problem today.
Truex Jr. in the 19 has
45 is screwed.
6 seconds behind pre-pit stop. Let's see what they choose to do.
That sucks, man. He had a 45 had a good run going today, man, and the tires. He's still in the pits. Remember in that movie Days of Thunder when they say tires win the race? Tires win the race. Man. And the 45 is, man, he's been in there. He was in the pits for 1 minute and 11 seconds. That's insane. Man, he's got. Don't listen to his radio right now. There might be a lot of cussing on that radio.
Mark Truex Jr.
Damn.
Win at Michigan, you got to run that 17 down.
Well, the 17 doesn't have anybody to work with like he was earlier with Reddick as far as pulling
So
away.
Keselowski out in front by Cindric, Chastain, Suarez, Gibbs, Burton, Larson, Jones, Logano, and Wallace. But some of those guys are going to have to. Sometimes, some of the drivers they got to kind of come in and pit.
Run as kind of long as you can. Maybe you'll get that lucky caution, get some track position.
Yeah, drivers and skill. No tires and skill. You're right.
So when they came on pit road, take a look at this. When they came back on after, there was not a lug on here, Steve. So somewhere the lug came off.
Right there. So what happens is, if we can see that one more time, they jack the right side up, the right rear goes down. You see that the tire wasn't tight, and now here's the 45 spinning because the wheel's basically trying to come off the car. So if we take another look,
the lug nut wasn't on. Was the lug nut on?
Only tighten appropriately with the car in the air. If the weight of the car is there, you cannot pull this up like an old 5 lug nut situation. So when they come in, you're going to watch right away. Watch just the right rear tire changer. He has an issue. Jackman sees it, but then the changer thinks he's okay. Off looks fine. Very quick, actually. On. Now watch the actual socket. I don't know if the threads doesn't start, but you see the socket spinning. Jackman goes to leave hand up, so the Jackman stops. He's going to come back and jack it up, but then the tire changer leaves. So all the Jackman can assume is whatever you have going on is good. Obviously, it didn't work out for the 45.
So yeah, somebody screwed up putting the lug nut on. I think that's what it looks like. It looks like somebody screwed up putting the lug nut on. It wasn't on. Or something to that effect. Man. I told you he'd be cussing.
What makes it more frustrating for Tyler Reddick is he knows they're waiting on gas. You know, you could change tires, Kim, in 9.5 seconds. They knew they needed more than 9.5 seconds worth of fuel.
And this is exactly what Tyler Reddick was talking to me about this morning, about pushing in areas.
Man, that sucks, man, for the 45, man. I told you he'd be. I kind of figured don't listen to the radio because there's gonna be some cussing.
Didn't want to happen, and you heard the anger from him on the radio.
Man, that sucks, man. How can you?
17, he thought this was his race to win, and I understand.
Man.
Another car who was having a great day, Austin Cindric and the two.
What is it up with these?
Normal, but we talk a lot about
problem putting the lug nut on.
Right side leaves. Austin goes to leave. The Jackman looks like he's changing lefts. Now they changed lefts, so some confusion between the plan and the driver. Just cost the 2 cars some time on this green flag cycle.
Man. It's crazy, Steve. I just don't get it, man. What's something? It just seems like there's a lot of problems nowadays with them getting that one lug nut on.
So what we're doing right now, we have several cars that pitted right there. Chastain, Blaney, Almirola, Cindric, Harrison, all those guys are a lap down. They need this thing to go green for them to cycle around, so these guys have to pit. Marty.
And meanwhile, Brad Keselowski would love to get a caution for him. About 10 to 15 more laps before they pit. Steve running, Matt McCall making this decision as long as he can. Why not, right? Take every advantage you can. They've already gained a lot of points today. Maybe they could still win here at Michigan.
Yeah, Marty, they're hoping that this stays green. And the two that are fighting right now that have been to pit road potentially for the win are the 17 of Buescher and the 19 of Truex Jr. They're running 18th and 19th.
Ooh, going another commercial break. All right, another commercial break. Man, this is crazy. And that 45 team, man, they screwed him over, man. Man. Yeah, he's pissed. You're right, he was pissed. I mean, man. And that's why they practice. You know, they practice all these pit sequences and all that, and they try to get it down to as little as possible. Man. 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 Maybe they need to go back to the 5 lug nuts. Man. Maybe they're going to need to go back to that, huh? As a driver, I mean, you just assume that they got the lug nut on properly, and you're not going to be problems. But man, man, that sucks for him, man. He had a good run going.
Again, Buescher is running 16th right now, but he is leading the cars that have been to pit road and can make it all the way to the checkered flag.
Buescher is, Truex is right there behind him and is closing ever so slightly. Traffic in front of the 17 will be another opportunity for Martin to take a few tenths away of that deficit between the two cars. When they're in even, clear traffic, they almost run identical times. It's going to come down to which car gets through traffic better, which car handles that dirty air better. And so far all day been that 19.
Steve, we would expect these guys, the top 16 right now, or top 14 actually, to be having to come to pit road because they've gone almost 50 laps now. You said that was about the fuel window?
Yeah, they're going to be within a handful of laps before they come to pit road, and that's going to make this the battle for the lead. And to Dale's point, just as you said it, Dale, right? The 17 got through traffic, and the 19 ate up this lead through traffic.
Again,
Yeah,
Chris
some of
Buescher,
these drivers are getting
as he
to the end of their
continues to
tank.
Move up the leaderboard. He's 13th. And that is because Martin Truex Jr. and Chris Buescher have both been to pit road already. All of the cars in front of them, scored in front of them, have been or need to still come to pit road. And there's the gap between.
That's insane that they have gotten it
Everybody makes their green flag pit
down
stops.
like no
That's a good corner right there for the
that many
17.
less of a seconds for 4 tires.
So
That's crazy.
them running by themselves. I think the 17 ought to be applauded to be able to have the speed they do at this point in the race. The 19 was about 2 tenths clear of the field all day
I mean,
long.
they've got these things down
Now the 17 looks like
crazy.
it's good a race car.
It's crazy how these pit crews, how fast they are getting, the tires on the car, jacking it up, putting the lug nut on, and putting the gasoline in it.
Marty, what about A.J. Allmendinger in the 16?
Yeah, 2 stops on the last stop for A.J. Allmendinger. The left rear was loose, and they too had to come back down pit road. A.J. was not very happy about it, and he said coming into the weekend, we'll know after Michigan what we have to do at the road courses.
Where's the 45 at? He's got to be.
Looks like it might be a
Yeah, he's 4 laps down. Jeez. Yeah, Tyler Reddick's 4 laps down now. Jeez.
Just 3 races left in the regular season.
And he had a chance. He had a chance to win the race today.
There are cars that are in front of them who will still have to come to pit road.
That one screw up cost him.
As we see Martin Truex Jr. just ever so slightly eating away at that gap between the 17 and the 19. Kim.
Man.
And Daniel Suarez making his green flag stop. He said it fired off just a little bit free and then got tight in the center. Felt like he had a 4-wheel slide. The call by crew chief Travis Mack to take 4 tires on that machine.
Man.
Top of the screen, Truex about a 10th quicker than Buescher that lap. 6 cars on pit road, Marty.
Boy, RFK is on the scene, aren't they, Junior? Brad Keselowski pits from the lead. He's at speed all day long. Would love to win at his home racetrack. In fact, has said, I would rather have a win here than in the Daytona 500. We'll see where he cycles out after this, but Matt McCall running him as far as he could. Looks like just a 2-tire stop for Keselowski and fuel to be able to make it to the end for the 6 car. His teammate Buescher still on the racetrack, actually 4 for Keselowski, and Buescher flashes by.
Telemarketer calling me. But it was a pre-recorded message, so I couldn't mess with them.
Steve, to get to the checkered flag.
So they were calling from Iran. So I'm like, all right, yeah, what's this? Who the hell's calling from Iran?
And all of those guys guys. Now you see Keselowski on the left side. He's going to cycle into like the 13th.
That was a pre-recorded message. I couldn't mess with him. Damn it.
This is the big moment for the 17 right here, catching these two slow.
I felt like messing with him for a second today. Sometimes I don't mess with him. But today I felt like messing with him.
This will be tough. Truex takes the big arc, dives down into the middle. This is, oh, here it comes. 19's going to have some momentum. 17's in dirty air of the 62 car, Austin Hill. He's got a little bit of a run down the back straightaway. Buscher's got to figure out where this car in front of him is going to go. Hill's going to go back to the bottom. Here comes the Truex car. He's going to have a great run again. Another opportunity down the front straightaway.
Running 7th and 8th right now. Buescher in front of Martin Truex Jr. And again, everyone scored in front of them. Still has to come to pit road. A little more momentum there out of the 19 as they get by Austin Hill in that 62.
Big sigh of relief for Chris Buescher there to be able to get through that without having to.
The Dillon brothers, they got to come in.
But Truex is close. We've seen him dive down into the corner. He's not going to be able to do it.
RFK really showing that they have turned things around with that organization, as Buescher won a week ago at Richmond, and now he's out in front here. Can he hold off Martin Truex Jr.? No one has been able to do it today.
Right now, he's going to need a lot of help from his spotter.
Truex has got a
where that 19's at all times. He's
got a fast car.
He's driving with one eye in the mirror and one eye out the front windshield.
LaJoy's in last. Now you don't like LaJoy.
Truex has been using the bottom here. Christopher Buescher's been doing a good job of shading that way.
Jeff, what can the spotter do? What can he tell the driver right now as far as choosing the line ahead of Martin Truex Jr.?
Yeah, a little bit of information is great, but you know, with the mirrors and the technology today, Chris Buescher really has a great shot. The way the electronic mirror works is it's sitting on his dash, so he doesn't even have to look up anymore. He can look at his dash, and he can maintain and understand
20 to go.
Exactly where Martin Truex is going. So I don't know that the spotter's as important today as he's been in the past.
So the blue box around Buescher and Truex Jr. It's just Austin Dillon now that is in front of these two, about 4.5 seconds in front of them.
Dillon's got a pit down.
So far, it's been a good job by the 17. And Brad said earlier this week, commenting on the win from last week at Richmond, the next thing for this organization is a multi-win season. I don't think he was talking about this weekend, but here we are. Chris Buescher, they were fast in qualifying, laid down some killer laps to put this car in the top 10.
Well, and to add to that, you know, Keselowski is now 5th as the pit cycle has continued. You know, he's all the way up inside the top 5.
So I think at this point, Truex is going to have to start seeing what's up top. He knows that the 17 is shading low. He's protecting that bottom groove. You see the season this team's had over there on the left in the pylon. Maybe it's time for Truex to start seeing what the middle or the top side of this racetrack looks like for him. That keeps the 17 guessing. Right now, Truex is showing the same plan every lap, every corner.
So Austin Dillon is
like right there,
pitting.
the racetrack a little bit higher now.
18 laps left. Now it's just between Buescher and Truex.
See other cars trying it, but it just
And Truex is fast though, man. I don't know if Buescher can hold him off.
Because Truex did get a run.
Yeah.
It got him some forward momentum, but not enough to get alongside of Buescher.
And we're hearing a spotter. That's Mike Herman Jr. speaking to Chris Buescher and giving him that information of where Martin Truex Jr. is, and now the gap about 3 to 4 car lengths that separate the top two. Under 17 laps to go. And throughout this entire race, we've watched Martin Truex Jr. just dominate and pass cars at will. But now, with only 16 laps to go, he's struggling to get by the 17 of Buescher.
Looking out front, all the lap traffic is single cars. No big chunks of 3 or 4 cars. That would absolutely be the last thing Buscher wants to see. And here he is again, having to pass Austin Hill. Austin Hill was creating some issues with it.
Yeah,
with these
let's
two
see if
cars
Buscher can
last
hold him
time.
up. I don't know, man. Truex has had a fast car today, man.
Buscher hoping this will be a little bit easier.
We've spoke a lot about the resurgence of RFK, which started out as Roush Racing, just Jack Roush, adding Fenway and then Keselowski. But the last time that the 17 won back-to-back races was all the way back in 2009, and that was Matt Kenseth, who won the Daytona 500 and then backed it up with a win in California.
And Matt Kenseth, remember him?
Didn't really
Matt Kenseth, damn.
gain a ton. Didn't lose any though. Buscher, a little bit of a moment it looked like right there. Lost a little bit off turn 4.
The gap, 2.5 tenths. And you see, as Truex eats away at that just little by little.
Got 14 to
Tenth and
go.
a half separating them. Are we seeing the Fords showing improvement at the right time as we get closer to the playoffs?
Truex at the top of the racetrack. I think we are, Rick. Last several weeks, the Fords have gotten back into the front of the field here. Truex right on his bumper. No run to be able to pull out.
Yeah. Truex has caught him, man.
The 17 going to be able to block it. Truex is there. It's going to be side by side off the corner.
Here comes Truex down the backstretch.
Truex going to try to bury him down into turn 3. So is the 17.
Little side drafting, and will he be able to clear him?
He does it.
There's a car in front. That's the 34 of McDowell. Now, who will use that car? As the side draft happens again, Mark Truex Jr. surging ahead as he pulled the 17 back. Now the 17 side drafts him back.
Ooh. Man.
Whoa, the 19's coming up the track a little bit.
Ooh. 19's got loose a little bit. But he held it.
Come out of the pipes of the 19 car. That's when he lifted off the throttle. And now Buscher's driving away. That's a big gap that Truex is going to have to earn back. But now Buscher knows the weakness. Now Buscher knows no matter what, if the 19 gets underneath me, I'm going to put my door on his door because he is loose underneath.
Nobody's been able to drive down into turn 1 on the inside with success.
Man.
Truex had to try it. He had no other choice, but just
I thought
low percentage move.
thought Truex was going to pass him there for a second.
Back of the car, step out, does a good job of saving it.
Now he needs to regroup.
But now he's a second behind.
Yes, you did.
Yep.
With 11 laps left. He's got a lot of time to make up here.
Under 11 laps to go, coming up on 10.
He got 10 laps left.
So now, can he get enough momentum? Is his car good enough? We saw he was loose underneath him.
Man.
All day long, we've seen Truex just drive by people. He wasn't able to do that time. That tells me his car is not as good as it once was. Does he have the speed? That time, Buscher was faster than Truex.
Saw the flag person showing him 10 fingers, 10 laps to go as we see a battle for 5th.
The battle back here. Somebody else, guys.
10 to go.
Rode off earlier in the race. The 20 of Christopher Bell. I mean, his car was destroyed, big damage, and he has one of the fastest cars on the racetrack right now. He's sitting here running at 14th, run Eric Almirola down big time. He's just going to drive right by him right here. I had no idea that this car in this condition could be this fast.
Yeah, I didn't think it was possible, Jeff. I saw the same.
Yeah, Christopher Bell, his car is all taped up. He's done, considering, he's done well. So Buscher's still out in front with 9 to go, and he's about a second lead over Truex. I mean, man.
Look at how tight it is at the cut line for the playoffs. Again, 3 races remain.
Get to the 45 push him. There you go. Yeah, you're good. No run out back there.
Gibbs 3 points ahead of McDowell. Right there in that 16th.
Yeah, I don't know if Truex is going to catch him now.
Suarez 7 points
So,
back.
having said that, watch Truex get on this bumper in the next few laps.
These guys are racing hard back here.
Bubba Wallace got a car smoking coming on to pit road here.
Oh, is that Gillian?
Having some issues.
It's a 38 car going to the
Left
pits.
rear tire, so he gets on the brakes, locks up the right front, so the left rear is flat.
So Gillian's in the pits. Looks like he's got a tire issue. Another tire issue.
No caution has come out.
Some of these drivers today.
Harrison Burton running in the 17th position now, just behind Logano.
Yeah, let's remember that, you know, the 19 won the second stage. He had control of the race, and he decided to pit at the end of the stage to put a little bit more fuel in that car and right side tires to try to shorten his green flag pit stop. The 17 was one of those cars that stayed out on the racetrack, knowing he needed.
So now we got now the lead is down to 6/10 of a second.
You see the crew chief right there.
With 7 to go.
Bottom right-hand side of your screen, Scott Graves made that decision. The 17 and the 45 put an amazing drive together before pit stops to gap the 19. That's really what allowed the 17 to pit.
Yeah, we'll see if
the lead over the 19. And now
it's under 5/10 now.
Busher has done with the 19.
But there's 6 to go. Does he have enough time to get up on him?
Back-to-back wins. What a huge accomplishment if they're able to pull it off here with 6 laps to go, and we covered it in our Cup Series practice show earlier.
Man, the 19 is starting to gain considerable ground. He's about to get into 3/10 of a second. So Truex is starting to catch him. Hello, Jacob. There's 6 to go, and Truex is only, but he's on. Oh, now it's 2/10 of a spot, 0.26 seconds behind. So almost 2.5 tenths. Man. Man, Truex is gaining.
The balance in the 17 car really struggling. He's trying to break the draft down the straightaways, and the lap traffic has been the cause of that. He's had to go around a couple cars, and that's been the difference between
There's 5 to go.
Even laps or the 19 being 3/10 quicker when they're passing even just one lap car. We're seeing a little bit of movement in the 17 car in the middle of 3 and 4 as well. Look at him moving back and forth.
He still has a
19 to close up.
Almost 3/10 of a second.
The gap under 3/10 of a second again.
There's 4 to go though. Is Truex starting to?
Mark Truex Jr. has
He needs
already
to get up on him. Now he's going high.
This season, the announcement
Man.
made he'd be back and racing again in 2024.
We'll see if Truex can get it done, but I don't know. And Busher doing a good job holding him off right now. They got 3 to go when they come around
It's
here.
going to be very tough for 19. I think the 17, if he does everything right, he should be able to put together enough laps.
And now he's 4/10 of a second. So Busher's kind of extended his lead here over Truex. So Truex starting to fall back a little bit with 3 to go.
Under 3 laps, and Busher, as Jeff mentioned earlier, one eye on that mirror and one eye out front.
So
Trying
3 to
take
go.
away the line of the 19 of Truex.
No lap traffic in front of him. It's about a half a straightaway to the next car.
Now we're going to have 2 now.
Now 2 to go.
2 to go.
All right, drivers, how do you get by him?
Truex has tried everything. You know, right there, he's sitting in. I mean, he just set that thing in the corner. A deep drive into it, and he netted out. Although he got slow in the center of the corner, it helped him. So he learned something right there. Let's see if he does it again.
And he's still
Down the back stretch, they'll only do it one more time as they go through 3 and 4. The gap still right around 2.5 tenths.
Truex now trying the high side. It's
Truex, he's not going to do it.
straightaway, just not enough.
Watch him into one, though.
1 lap to go, presented by Credit One Bank.
1 lap left. White flag is out.
There's been 6 last lap passes here in Michigan. Will this be number 7?
Going down the backstretch.
Chris Busher, hang on and go back to back after winning on a short track a week ago. What will the 19 try?
Three to the bottom.
Down to the bottom of the racetrack he goes. He's closed the gap.
I don't think he's going to get it.
Busher is going to do it. He goes back to back. He'll win in Michigan.
Yeah, Busher wins. So Busher gets the win. Holds Truex off at the end. Followed by Hamlin and Keselowski is your top 4. Then Larson is the 5th. Then you got Suarez, Chastain, Harvick, Blaney, and Eric Jones is your top 10. So Ford, first on race day, gets the win.
Celebrating this win.
It's a good job by Busher to hold him off.
4 career wins for Chris Busher.
Because Truex did have a fast car today. But Busher was the better car at the end of the race, so he held him off. So the Ford Mustang.
Took over 20 hours.
All right, so race finally were able to get this race concluded as after the rain yesterday. So Busher doing his burnouts.
Chris Busher celebrating, and he should celebrate after beating Mark Truex Jr., who this weekend was the dominant car. This checkered flag moment brought to you by Advance Auto Parts.
The car's smoking. That rubber burning.
Before Chris won last week, Ford had 2 wins on the season. Now they've gone back-to-back. I think that answers the question if Ford has found what they need to finish this year strong.
Look at all that rubber on the road.
And doing it at the right time. Only 3 races until the playoff start.
Oh yeah, congrats to Busher. Chris Busher got the win. I'm gonna go get some lunch before get some lunch. Thank you everybody for popping in, Steve and Jacob for popping on in here at the end watching the race. As Chris Busher gets the W, gets the win here in Michigan. And I'll see you guys later tonight for the Braves and the Pirates at 7 Eastern. So I'll see y'all in a few hours. Have a good one.